Harry and Meghan's greed for Hollywood money and fame is so vulgar that it motivated Chris Rock to follow in South Park's lead. He pulled the couple's pants down and spanked them silly. And then you had King Charles evict the freeloaders from Frogmore. Yet the delusional duo simply continued their grievance gospel racket. They had a coffee promo, staged a late-night paparazzi shoot, a hypocritical christening, and half-wits round two with Stephen Colbert. And that's all before Harry ever used a therapist as a public attack dog against the crowd. See, every lie owes a debt to the truth, and the Meghan's bill is long past due. Welcome, everybody. I hope you all had a phenomenal week, my friends. I missed you all. I've been under the weather for the last 9 days, so we have a lot of news to catch up on. The hater and the hustler have been working overtime, trying to convince the world that they're saints worthy of statues, while at the same time they're callously fleecing their titles for cold hard cash. Whether you're talking about Duchess Doolittle's latest investment,
small business went from this to this. None other than Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, started drinking our lattes.
Weird flex, but okay.
Meghan ended up becoming our first investor, advisor, and biggest clutter advocate.
or half-wit finger puppets nonstop grift.
Most used app on your phone.
For me, genuinely, BetterUp.
What's BetterUp?
BetterUp is a coaching platform, which I'm part of.
Okay.
It's the quickest access to mental health coaching.
Yeah, I'm sure, Harry, that's your favorite app. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the reality that it's coming from the company you pimp for. You're about as credible as any of your other claims.
I love my father, I love my brother, I love my family. I always do. Nothing of what I've done in this book or otherwise has ever been to, any intention to harm them or hurt them.
What?
See, the Meghans right now would be the world's #1 laughingstock if they weren't so dangerous. Because in my opinion, there's something truly sinister that lurks in a particular hater's heart.
Pa knew I was living at Knight's Hill. Then one day he looked up in the sky and saw a Typhoon aircraft doing low passes along the seawall, and he figured it must be me. So he got into his Audi and hurried over. He drove off. As he went down the track, I told the Typhoon, new target, grey Audi. The Typhoon tracked Pa, did a low pass straight over him, almost shattering the windows of his Audi, but ultimately spared him, on my orders. It went on to blow a silver barn to smithereens.
Now let that sink in for a moment. You have a 22-year-old Harry who radios a 94 million pound Typhoon fighter jet during training to target his father. And it flies by, nearly blowing out the windows of Prince Charles's Audi. Now, what really sealed the deal for me were Harry's own words. He was spared talking about his father on his orders. Now, I don't know about you, but if that's not a sick Oedipal fanish to finish his dad, I don't know what is. Forget about Al-Qaeda being a threat. The Meghan shouldn't be anywhere near the king, the coronation, the UK Commonwealth, Prince William, Catherine, or any of their children. Period. End of statement.
But ultimately spared him, on my orders.
But now that we're on the subject of kids, you know you can learn a lot about someone by how they talk about their children. Or not.
Favorite smell?
Favorite smell? My wife.
Sometimes you can learn even more by what someone doesn't say than by what they blather on about. Like every parent that I know. If you ask them, what's your favorite scent in the world? They're going to say it's that incandescent, fresh smell of their baby. Not their spouse, but their child. You know, what did Harry do? The hater chose the Hustler spray on Tan BO over that of his 21-month-old daughter. See, the devil is always in the details. Every time Harry opens his mouth, he spills the beans on his character.
My Instagram-loving bitch wife has always wanted her privacy!
Oftentimes, it's the simple actions of others that paint the most powerful pictures. This Miss Piggy's on the market. Prince Harry's older woman auctions off his gift for earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria. Tell me that isn't brilliant. Sasha Walpole is back. An Englishwoman of extraordinary dignity, grace, and heart just unmasked the Montecito megaphones for who they are by simply being herself. She didn't go on this grand tour. She didn't do a media blitz because actions speak louder than words. She took Harry's Miss Piggy that he had given her. She auctioned it on eBay on March the 4th, and now that money has gone to help people in need. That is how it's done. And before we move forward, I got to ask you, if you're really enjoying the videos, if you find value in them, push the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and leave your thoughts and questions in the comments down below before you share it with all your family, friends, and coworkers. Now we're growing to 100,000 subscribers. I couldn't have gotten here without you. But the bigger we get, the bigger spotlight we can shine on all of those people, whether it's Harry and Meghan or the Hollywood elite who are trying to corrupt the culture with their lies. So every time you watch one of our videos, it helps us in the algorithm. Thank you.
That's right.
So Prince Hairplug should have taken a page from Sasha's playbook to help others instead of always thinking about himself. But what did he do? He followed Duchess Leatherface's lead and went on a 2-hour thunderstorm ride from their Montecito madhouse all the way to LA to the private members exclusive club, the San Vicente Bungalows. The only reason they went there so they could be photographed by the paparazzi they hired when they rang up Dial-A-Pap.
Hi, Meghan.
See, there's something actually quite confusing about Camp Cash Grab. I thought that the Meghans despised the paparazzi, didn't you?
Do we have that pap on the scooter again?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we do? Really? Same guy?
Same guy.
Harry!
But it appears that when they need to use him, they cut him some slack. See, Meghan right now, that D-list wannabe never was, she needs cover. She wants to hide her shame. Charles evicting Harry and Meghan is the act of a king putting his country first. Rebecca English reveals why Charles backed moves to evict the Sussexes from Frogmore Cottage. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. What the king just did was long past due. I'm happy. I'm thrilled about it. But I'm also concerned that the Montecito manipulators are playing a shell game, kind of like a financial jujitsu. Say, July the 1st of 2023 is their final day at the cottage, even though already Princess Eugenie has moved in, not Andrew. And I'm thinking that they're going to try to claim millions of pounds in reimbursements for what they claim they spent on remodeling the place. And that they need as a quick cash infusion. It's going to burden British taxpayers, and that's going to fund their future grand delusional plans. Inside Harry and Meghan's private island plans after Frogmore Cottage eviction. First, they left the UK. Then they jetted away from Canada. And now they want to tuck tail turn and run away from Montecito to become king and queen of the coconuts on their own private island. I'm like, go for it. Goodbye. Good riddance. Just go away. But see, the Meghans, everything that they're doing right now is a PR stunt in order to re-engineer the narrative. Take the christening, for example.
They said, well, we'd like for you to be Lily's godfather. I go, hold on a second. Does this mean we got to go over there and do all of that in the church with them and figure all that out? Because I don't want to do that.
Now, that was Tyler Perry, the person who Meghan selected to be the godfather of her child. It is the same man who figuratively shot the middle finger to the royal family on film. It's reprehensible. But there's another side to the story for the christening. This was also done for greed, but it was also a power play by the Meghans to try to make the crown look weak. And the truth is, who do you think right now is really looking frail and fragile? The monarchy or the Meghans? Because when someone has real power and wealth, they don't require to have their name in the daily papers just to confirm their status. They know it. The only people who trumpet to the world, hey, look at me, I'm rich, I'm famous, I'm powerful, bow down, are the pathetic weaklings. And that's what we're getting. We have the fake House of Montecito is putting on this karaoke love show performance for the cameras. It's exactly the same what the wannabe never was fake Duchess from LA did to wrap that half-wit finger puppet around her.
They only know what they know. And that's the thing. I've tried to...
Or what they're told.
Or what they're told, and the way that it should have been
With
done.
as much respect.
With as much respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
The suggestion by a friend was, what about streamers?
Yeah, we genuinely hadn't thought of it before.
I never thought about it.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
Sadly, right now, those strings are extending out to the family, transforming the children into brand pawns. Now, see, Meghan believes she's going to be able to use those titles to her benefit, not understanding that the titles are going to serve as scales to judge the parents by, especially given their long history of attacks against the royal family.
In the Oprah interview, you accuse members of your family of racism. You don't even...
The British press said that.
What?
When I was pregnant, concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
The British press said that. That conversation... I'm never going to share.
What?
And toss into that Harry's final words on the monarchy.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family?
No, I can't see that happening.
And what do you get? You have a delusional duo who've promised the planet that all they want is this private, average, ordinary life far away from Buckingham Palace.
Hey! Hey, you! Hey! What are you looking at? You ever heard of privacy?
You know what's really interesting? If the Meghans actually were to keep their public word, they had a glorious example to follow in Queen Elizabeth's only daughter, Princess Anne. Anne was neither antiquated nor rigid in her own child rearing, keen for Peter and Tsar to have ordinary childhoods. She broke with royal tradition by choosing not to give them HRH titles when they were born. A peerage she would have been offered from the Queen. I think it was probably easier for them, and I think most people would argue that there are downsides to having titles, she says. So I think that was probably the right thing to do. Again, another reason why Princess Anne is not only one of the hardest working royals in the family, but she is a lady of true nobility, character, word, and honor. She had a vision for her children, and she enforced it. She walked it like she talked it. Not like the D-list fake wannabe never was did. That's the complete 180, because right now she's acting, smiling like the cat that ate the canary outside the restaurant Gracias Madre.
Hi, Meghan. Happy International Women's Day. You look great, by the way.
But Meghan didn't get the upper hand. She doesn't realize that she exposed more of her inner rotten core. Everyone now knows that the Meghans are hypocrites who would sell their children down the river for another penny or a pound.
Show everybody trying to be a victim. Like, what's this girl, Meghan Markle? So some of that shit she went through was not racism. It was just some in-law shit.
A Hollywood contract is only worth the couple's last best public poll. And Netflix right now sees the writing on the wall. Harry and Meghan's relationship with Netflix jeopardized after Chris Rock's roasting. See, the couple's public stock is plummeting, and their problems are just beginning. Meghan Markle suffers a legal blow over a podcast. The United States Patent and Trademark Office just rejected her Archetypes trademark. So she only has two choices by April, either to abandon the project or to appeal it. But you add that on top of her sister Samantha's lawsuit, and things aren't looking well. Then the fact that we finally busted the D-list wannabe never was once more time, proving yet again that she had a strategy laid out ahead of time way before she ever met the halfway. She actually went on a royal safari stalking Harry. See, there is a domain name registered in 2014 called Princess Meghan. It's got her fingerprints all over it. And since domain names are public record, you can see it right there for your own eyes.
The whole thing is highly suspect.
Now, you take that and you add that to the fact that Harry just certified himself as a professional victim with the same therapist that he used to covertly slander his family. And the Meghan's bank account is about to go on a starvation diet because their reputation has just been confirmed as cons.
And what struck me in that passage, as in so many other passages in the book, is the lack of touching, the lack of a child being held, where people are not held and hugged. You know, animals hug their kids.
We also learn why South Park got under the couple's skin, because they hit the mark dead center.
You must be the royal prince millionaire world traveler victim. That's right.
So the takeaway from the Meghans is, if they could actually break their public word and turn on their own children, how soon will it be till they eat each other up alive? See, until that day comes, we have the beautiful powerhouse couple who are now acting as a bulwark against the insanity of the lobotomy twins of Montecito.
Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Off we go, 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 go. Okay, as hard as you can.
Now, isn't that just beautiful? Two people in service to their country with love and duty in their heart for their fellow man. That's just priceless. And it also tells us to remember that we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Always forward.